Ann with Luke's Sewing Center in Tri-County. Today we're here to discuss Janome's great machine, the M7 Continental. We will be discussing all the accessories that come with it. It's a great sewing machine. One of the neatest features is this huge throat. It's 13.5 inches. You have lots of room for all your quilting projects, blankets. It's really nice. The touch screen, that's all you do. It comes with a stylus, so if you don't use your fingers, you have a stylus to go through. It's really nice. It's very user-friendly. It also comes with this table. What I really like about the table, you have this little drawer here. It'll fit a lot of your bobbins and probably the tools that you use most frequently. You can just stick in there to have close by. It also has a ruler on here. It'll go up to 21 inches, and then it also records your centimeters. It's a very user-friendly setting for quilting and sewing, and you don't have to get anything extra with that. So today we want to go over some of the basics to get you started in sewing on this great machine. Okay, let's go over all the accessories that are provided with this machine, starting with all the feet. So your general A foot, also your zigzag foot. M is your overcasting. Then we have the satin foot. We have the blind hem foot, which is G on this machine. E is your zipper foot, and Z is your zipper foot for a blind hem. D is the rolled foot. This is the F2, which is the open toe satin foot. T is the button foot. This is O, which is the 1/4 inch foot with the guide, and then you have the 1/4 inch without the guide. This is the HP foot. This one is your darning foot with a clear open toe, or actually it's a clear bottom. The next one is the darning with the clear open toe. And then we have the double feed foot, which is significant, and we will give more detail on that later, but it's not just the foot hooking up to the ankle on this machine, so there's more control on that. Then we have R, which is the button foot. We have the HP dual foot. Okay, and these are your free motion quilting toes. These are for zigzag. And then we have your foot for ruler work when you're doing free motion quilting as well. And then you get your caps, your smalls, your large, your medium, your screwdriver. You get 5 of the clear bobbins, a set of needles, which are really nice. The purple one for heaviest, you can go through 1 inch of fabric with that purple one. We have the brush for your cleaning and regular maintenance, the quilting guide, the netting for over your spools of thread. You have your seam ripper. You have these to hold your spools of thread, your stylus, which goes on the side of the machine because it's a touch screen on your sewing machine. And then we have the button shank. The machine does come with 3 plates. One is on the machine already for doing zigzag. This is your straight needle stitch plate. This is the HP plate that works with the feet specifically for that HP. And all come with this case that will allow you, when you open this, you can have your feet in these compartments, miscellaneous, and underneath you have these 2 holders for your bobbins, whether they're filled or empty. and any other miscellaneous. It's a really nice case. And then also lastly is the knee presser, the knee lifter that you can operate, which is nice and quilting if you're want both your hands free for that. Okay, so let's wind a bobbin now. We'll pull our thread up here, come around to the tension. I put both fingers on it so I could feel it go through. And then you bring the thread back here. I'll put my clear bobbin over the bobbin holder. Again, with two hands, I'm going to wind it. And then these slats on the side are for taking this tail back, and I cut it. Close that on the bobbin, and right here is the button. Once I press that, it will start winding it. This also has a separate motor to do this. Let's go. You will also get a window here that tells you the bobbin is winding. So it's popped open because it finished filling it. We're going to take this off, and you can slide over here right where there is a blade to cut off your bobbin. And now we'll load the machine. So let's open up our bobbin drawer, take off our little clear cover. When you're loading your bobbin, you want the thread to be going counterclockwise and have about a 4 to 6 inch tail. I'm going to set that in there. You'll see a little opening down here. I'm going to move the thread, and it goes in there automatically. You just want to make sure it goes under to this second little extension and go under there. You're going to pull it back. You'll see it says 1 and 2 step numbers. You'll get it right there. There's a little knife in there that cuts that tail. We'll put the lid back on, close that up, and we're ready to stitch. All right, let's thread our needle now. We'll start up here, having taken the thread through this first thread guide. Down here, the silver hook, the back of the machine, and there is a thread guide here as well. We'll come around to this white plastic that has a arrow on it. It points you to where your next step will be. Let's bring it up to this next thread guide. As you'll see, the arrow points you down. We're going to come down here. 5, we'll come back up around the lever. Make sure that it hooks in. There's a little hole at the end of this. You want to make sure it gets in there. We'll bring it down, come behind this thread guide, go down to right above the needle. There's another thread guide. Okay, we've put it behind the needle. We'll come up here, hit our key which locks it, bring the thread up between the threader, take it back to where it will cut the thread. As you hold it, we'll bring down the automatic threader. There it threads the needle. You'll come from behind and pull your thread through. Then you can unlock it again. It just allows your foot to rise again, and your thread is in your needle and you're ready to go. All right, let's go through the buttons on the front of the machine to start. And we'll start here in the green button that says Start Stop. When it's green, it's actually stopped. The button right above that is your reverse. Then your auto fix, if you want to do that fix stitch when you're starting something. The next button over will be your needle up and down. Then your scissors for cutting your threads. Your foot up and down button. And this slider here is for how fast or how slow you want to go. To the right all the way is the fastest you can go, and then to the left would be your slowest. Over on the right hand side, you have a dial for your stitch width, and then you have your dial for your stitch length. All right, let's talk about, on your right hand side of the screen, each one of these functions. So the house is your home button, and we are home. So this is where you'll go if you've been elsewhere on the screen. This is your base, and we're under the utility on this tab. That's the utility. The next one down is your file. If you have files that are saved to the machine, which it is able to do, you would come under here and go under this folder. If you have a USB, you would click on there and you would get your files off of that. We don't have a USB inserted, so it's not allowing us to do that. That would be that screen. Our next button here is for the function, so let's hit that. Well, let's first get out of this screen by hitting the X in the corner. Now we're back at the home page, and let's go to the function button. So here you have your three settings of a quick stitch selection, the quick block advisor for you quilters, and machine information. And you can go into each one of those and get more detailed information. We'll X out of there, come down to our settings button, and you have your machine setting, your stitch setting, and the language. This is for your languages, to choose your different languages. And now we'll X out of there. We'll come down to the help key, which is your question mark. This is like having your manual, or actually these are the user manual. You can go into any one of these and find the information that would be the same in your user manual. You could also access this. If you see this square that's a scanner, if you have downloaded the software on your phone or a tablet, you would be able to access these from those devices as well, which is a really neat and up-to-date feature. Let's X out of that panel. And finally, we have the lockout key. When you press that, it automatically gives you this screen that lets you know you're locked out. Additionally, the function to remove or change your plate is to hit this button. When you're done with this lockout for whatever change you've made, you just come back over and hit the key again, and you'll be back at your home screen. Let's review the main tabs on this home screen of what these different stitches do. So your first one tab is your utility stitches, your straight stitch, your zigzag, and variations. Let's go to the next tab, which is button and buttonholes. The next screen are for decorative and quilting, and if you click on any one of those, you will get more information. Let's X out of there and go back to, this is for monogramming, and you have different font styles to do that. We'll X back out of there. You have your tapering stitch. So if you're working in a decorative, you can taper at the beginning or the end on those stitches, and this would be where you want to be to do that. This is your stitches you can make look more hand-stitched. And then finally, our last tab is for sewing applications. And again, you see all these different categories that you just click on those to get more information from the three different tabs as well. Okay, let's get back to this scan here and talk about how that works with the M7. So we'll go to the function button. We'll choose the Quilt Block Advisor. This app you can download to your phone, and when you do, you can select any one of these. And the cool thing about the app on your phone is it will give you step-by-step instruction, not just dimensions like the machine does. So let's go into Grandma's Garden, and you'll see what I mean about the different dimensions of the pieces you want to make. But with scanning, I hit my scan on my phone, I bring this over, you heard that little, it scanned it. I'll hit my quilting icon, and now it's brought up this same design, and it has all the specific instructions for cutting your pieces, for doing the piecework, doing patchwork, and all of that until you finish it is on your app. The app that you will use is called the AcuSpark, and you can download it either on your phone or an iPad. It's really great for extra tips and tricks as you go through this. Okay, let's stay on our utility screen and do a straight stitch. You'll notice the first icon up here, that allows your needle to stay down when I stop so I can pivot and make turns easily, especially when I'm quilting. The other thing I want to point out is your default length stitch is at 2.40. I prefer mine at 3. I could either increase this here by hitting the plus sign, or I can go over to my dial and turn that and get to my 3. So let's get started. I'm going to lower my foot and my needle. I will step on the pedal. Say I want to turn now. My needle stayed down, my foot came up. I turn it to make a right angle. Start up again. When I stop, I want to mention that I could either cut my thread through the button up here, or on this machine you get an extra foot pedal. If I hit that, it will also cut my thread. And I'm done now. Let's go to some regular maintenance you can do yourself on your machine. So first we'll hit the lockout key button, and as we mentioned, this will lift our plate, so I can remove that from the machine. I have my brush here. I will take out the bobbin and the bobbin case holder, and I will just brush on the inside and around that. There's not much in here. However, under here, underneath the feed dogs, you'll see this is where it accumulates quite a bit of lint. So you want that out of there. It doesn't take long to accumulate it. You can start having thread issues if you don't get to it frequently enough. I would say if you look around on the inside, by the feed dogs, those are the places you just want to brush off where you can visually see all that lint. That's all you have to do. We'll put the bobbin holder back in here. You'll notice that the bobbin lines up. It has a yellow mark, and it lines up with the red mark right there on the bobbin. Now we'll put our plate back, slide it in like that, and we're good. Turn off the message there, hit the key lock again, and all you have to do is reload your bobbin thread as we mentioned before. Put your thread counterclockwise, slide it in the first catch, go underneath the second one, up around to 1, 2 where the knife is to cut your thread. Put our cover back on. That's pretty much it for maintenance.